like the ring announcer said, all of the MPs, the government members, should come on board to help this young talent.
Yeah.
They need to grow.
Yeah. I couldn't agree with the ring announcer more. I mean, the MPs can take that advantage. They can take that leading role. And I'm sure that the communities thereof will also follow with their kind of support. Viewers, you're still here at the IDROWHYT Event Center. We're coming up with the next amateur bout of the evening. And Khalib is in the red corner. And his opponent, Inso, is in the blue corner. Let's see what they're also made of. Now, these are the levels of boxers and the levels in which they fight in, which propels them to inch closer to a possible participation at the Olympic Games. How important is it to pay close attention to amateur boxing? Cesar?
Prince, now I believe amateur boxing has now grown wings. Why am I saying this? Quite recently, we just read in the media that amateur boxing and also weightlifting has been taken off Olympic Games. And I was saying to myself, how can we improve upon these youngsters that we groom day in, day out? These are times that we need to groom more with what Samuel Tichi has done in the Olympics. I believe most of these amateur boys are also inching closer, not to the Olympics alone, but to make a niche for themselves through boxing.
Well, carving a niche for themselves, obviously, from the amateur level is good enough, because then it prepares and propels them into the professional ranks, and that's where the big money will come in from. So, Khalib in red, Inso in blue, exhibiting the kind of skill they have when it comes to amateur boxing. And there are lots of amateur boxers dotted around, especially the southern part of this country. Back in the day, we used to have Friday night amateur fights at the Ghana Prisons Service Canteen. I'm not too sure whether it still continues, but how important is it again for the continuity, for opportunities to be created for these boxers? Because both boxers, that is amateur and professional, need fights to better their lot. What is the essence of training without getting opportunities to fight?
Prince, you know, what you just spoke about, I think you sent shivers down my spine, because it was the baby of one Mr. Quarter. The moment he passed away, nobody has taken it upon themselves.
Yeah.
I mean, prisons happens to be a place where we host, Friday night boxing, and you could see people actually love it. People will just trip to the prison's canteen just to catch a glimpse of what Friday is all about. Today, the man's vision, he has gone with it. Somebody needs to take up this mantle and challenge. And I believe that the new leadership that has come through the amateur ranks is going to we should be one of the yardsticks of reviving those Friday night fights and then allowing these young boxers to have a feel at each other. I believe by doing so, we could actually fish out the next professional boxer to take over the ranks of these aging ones who are actually moving.
Fights still continue. Khalib in red, Inso in blue. And that's the end of the round, showcasing the talent that they have. They need to have consistent events, consistent programs, consistent boxing fights, so that it keeps our boxers busy and it keeps them on their toes. He's also identified that not only are they looking at Olympic stardom per se, but they also want to carve a niche for themselves, break into the big ranks, get into the professional level, and make some money.
Well, that's very important. That's key. And this is where government must be involved at all levels, because this is where we groom talent. This is where these young amateur boxers can groom themselves and grow very well and join the Black Bombers. Sorry. And then this is where Ghana will definitely see the stardom in those young chaps. So, look, we have so many boxing gyms around here. We have good trainers as well, good production teams as well. Then we need the cash to make sure events are organized, to make sure these young boys have, the chance to to showcase what they've learned, what they've gone through. That is how they grow. But we cannot do this when the government is not injecting cash into boxing.
Yeah. That's very, very important. And I guess in that light, we can almost always doff our hats off for IMAX Media taking that bold initiative to go into partnership with the Ghana Boxing Authority. We are looking at a 5-year development plan. We are looking at the Ghana Professional Boxing League. Boxers are going to be paid. Managers are going to be on their toes to ensure that they churn out the best of boxers. And again, history has it that once upon a time, we used to have what was known as the Morteen Professional Boxing League. So the Morteen days brought the best of some local boxers that we had. The first time, I remember someone sent a message saying that the first time he saw George Ashi, also known as Red Tiger, fighting was in the Morteen Professional Boxing League. Why have we left the stars we made from the Morteen Boxing League?
It's all about management. Whenever you tap into somebody, all that you need is to manage that talent. We had so many crack boxers. Joseph Kwajo Opanka, as we speak now, he's in Fiji, and that is where he fights boxing. He has a name in Fiji. Whenever you get to Fiji now and you mention the name Joseph Kwajo Opanka, everybody knows that guy. And that was one talent that came out from the Morteen Professional League. How well do we manage boxers who are cracked from the onset? We had George Red Tiger Ashi. He fights like the former Ike Bazooka Quartet.
Exactly.
And that is who we actually saw in that war.
Yeah.
But how did management of George Ashi go to? That is why I say it's all due to correct management and systems that will work to propel these young boxers into stardom.
Between IMAX Media and the Ghana Boxing Authority. Fortunately, we've got the president of the Ghana Boxing Authority with us here in the house tonight, Mr. Abraham Kote Nikwe. We also have Mr. Fadi Fatal here with us as well, and we'll be taking a look at the essence of this partnership over the next 5-year period. It starts from next year, and we can't wait to bring you lots of boxing action live in the comfort of your homes, wherever you may be. But tonight is the Boxing Night of Raw. It's the Boxing Day extravaganza here at the IDROWHYT Event Center. Currently on your screen, Khalib in red, Inso in blue. And we'll talk about that young man in a second, because he's one of the brightest spots that we have in Ghana boxing. And we are glad to have him in our midst here today. We'll talk about him in a moment. But again, we're trying to see how important it is to lift up the image of boxing. Fortunately, the president of this land, His Excellency, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, loves boxing. Himself, once upon a time, was a boxer. But a lot of people are asking questions. We are not seeing a lot of his imprint, Jude, in boxing. Are we asking for too much, if we have to think on those lines?
Well, not at all. I mean, just looking at what boxing have brought to Ghana. I mean, right straight from the Olympics, we've seen titles, we've seen great boxers through the links. We've had some wonderful boxers trying to raise the flag of Ghana high. I don't want to mention names, but it all boils down to what boxing has done for Ghana.
Yeah.
And if you really love the sport, you will have to make sure things are improved. You have to make sure care is taken. You give everything, all the attention in terms of boxing. Look, how many times have we not heard from our national champions, those who were Hall of Famers, those who have been, holding the flag of Ghana very high? How many times have we not heard them talk about how government should be involved in terms of the growth of the sport? If you really want boxing to grow, I'm sure the government must have a policy, a plan, so that we all must know this is the plan, this is where we are going, and this is how the future looks like. Look, for the Ike Bazookas, the DK Poisons, for the Azuma Nelsons, and Nana Kunedus, just to mention a few, this is something that we must grow, we must hold on to, because for me, in Africa, Ghana is the bedrock of boxing.
Wow. There's a lot to learn tonight. Here this evening, and it looks like boxing lovers love what they've seen so far.
For the fight between Khalid Mohammed,
let's go to Mohammed Amin Lamte for the verdict.
Is a draw. Thank you very much. Shall we put hands together for them?
And Prince, for the amateur boxers, this is where our coaches must go outside and learn. I'm sure we have capable coaches. We have good hands who can train these boys to become top-notch stars. But you see, these same young chaps will grow to become the national champions, and then they will vie for the West African Championship. And when they are there, that is where they start to blossom into those stars that we want to see.